Hello, everyone. This is Apostle T putting it down for the Lord all day, every day, right here on Soul City TV. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate all of you guys who have been supporting, who've been giving us some DMs. You've really been showing your love for Soul City TV, guys. It's a revival in the house. So I'm really excited about what God is doing with this forum, with this medium. We are really trying to be a voice within a community, not just the Black community, but within our Christian community. We want to know how this has been affecting you, some of the things that you've been gaining. Because if you notice over this past week, guys, we've been hitting it hard, especially talking about some of the things that are going on today. We have those folks that are dealing with not riding, but what are we talking about? They out there. I can't even think of the word, y'all. I'm tripping right now. They're out there protesting. Thank you so much. They're out there protesting for the right to have equal justice under the law. That's what it's all about. It's not about a black thing or white thing. It's about having equal justice under the law. A lot of systems out there are set up to be against certain minorities, and the thing is, guys, is that we haven't seen something like this since the '60s. This type of upheaval, this type of uproar in our country, and guys, this is a good thing, whether you like it or not. Whether you understand it or not, whether you're a part of it or not, this is a good thing. It's time, it's past time for things like this to happen, for this to go down. So, guys, we are excited. We're reporting on it. We have people on the street. We're trying to make sure that we get the word out. And really, our real focus right now is how do we as believers, how do we as Christians, should the church respond in this hour? So, guys, that's what today is about. Today is about us making sure that we respond right, that we do the right thing, that we don't take this as just another event that's going on. It's not just another one. Guys, this has the opportunity to be the final one in this area, especially if the church steps up and we do our part. Without a doubt, if we step up and we do our part. So just want to encourage you guys. We're still dealing with the pandemic out there as well. Another issue that's affecting the African American community. It's been a boom, bam, slam type of few months. So, guys, this is what we're dealing with right here on Soul City TV. We're trying to find answers. We're trying to find solutions, and we are talking to influencers from around the world. We're talking to people who are in the know. We're talking to folks who have their hand on the pulse of what really needs to happen and how we should have a biblical, a spiritual, a holistic response in every situation that's going on right now. So, guys, today is no different. Today is no different. Right now, guys, I have a fella. He's in the green room. I'm gonna say it like that, and he is waiting to come on. We have Ahmad J Bell. Most of you know him as Victorious. He is a rapper. He's a producer. This fella has done all kinds of things really to promote the kingdom business, y'all, promoting the kingdom of God, doing some amazing things in the name of the Lord. So guys, what I want to do, I want to bring Ahmad on, and I really want you guys to pay attention. What I need you to do is to go ahead and hit that like button and that share button. I need you with this show. I need you to hit likes and I need you to hit shares. I need you to push this to everybody that you know. Let them know that Soul City TV is going down right now on Soul City TV with Ahmad Bell. Also, guys, we are on YouTube. I want you to go hit our YouTube page, look it up, Soul City Online. And when you look that up, go ahead and subscribe. Please share all of this with your friends. We're trying to really see some great things happen within our Christian community. And guys, that's how we do it. We share, we respond, we take up the fight, we connect with one another. Guys, we make it happen right here on Soul City TV. So without any further ado, guys, I want to introduce a good friend, a fellow who has done some amazing things in the industry throughout the Texas region and beyond. Let me introduce you to our brother, our friend, Ahmad Bell, a.k.a. Victorious. What's up, Vic?
What's up, man? How are you? How are you?
Man, blessed, man. Blessed, man. Glad that you're on the show today.
It's an honor to be here with you today, man, and to have you reach out and to be a part of what you're doing.
Man, no, I'm going to be a part of what you're doing. I'm going to tell you why. This is the main reason I brought you on the show, man, because I saw you go live on Facebook last week. And, man, you were talking some stuff to the Christian community, to some of the artists that are out there. And, man, you hit it so on point at what our response should be. And, I believe that folks need, young people, especially these young artists, they need guidance, need to make sure that they are keeping everything on point. Even though, we can do anything we want, it's just some things we need to do right and keep it in the right perspective. And man, you laid it out, brother. You laid it out. So that's what got me. That's why I wanted to get you on here.
Yeah. And, I appreciate you for that. I mean, it was just spirit-led conversation, just letting, the youngsters in the green room, so to speak, and let them know, hey, this is what, before we actually hit the show, and the show being when we have to be out in front of people, when we have to share in front of folks, let's make sure that our mindset is right. Let's make sure that our hearts are right. And let's make sure that our hands is clean. So we're sharing from a perspective that's totally biblical, and we're not sharing none of our own feelings or emotions in the situation. Definitely, we find ourselves in precarious times, man. It's very different from anything that we've ever been through in our lifetime. And then the people who have reared us and brought us up, it's different from their lifetime, because they had leaders in their movement.
Yeah.
Here. You know what I mean? This is a leaderless movement, but it's nonetheless a movement that needs to happen, right?
Yeah.
So there has to be some voices that can stand above the noise and speak, thus said the Lord, to give direction. If not, you'll have people who will be like Aaron, who are making golden calves for the people to worship, instead of, waiting on God to bring the instruction so that we can heed that and do what it is that needs to be done.
Hey man, that's exactly right. That was one of the things that I noticed as well was really missing, was that leadership, that go-to person, or people even to say, this is the direction that we need to go. This is how we need to conduct ourselves in this way, in this fashion. But I tell you what, I'm gonna pause that right there because I want to talk a little bit about you, man. We right on point with all of this, and guys, we're gonna come back to this later on in the show. So do not turn the station. Keep liking. We'll go ahead and tell everybody Ahmad is Vic is about to make it happen. So definitely, guys, we want you to like it, share it, bring people in. So what I want to talk about, man, I want to talk about you for a little bit, man. I know that God has done a major work, a major redesign in your life. So tell us real quick your origin story, and in order that people will see the real man.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a lot, but because I don't really tell it too much, only because of the simple fact that if you stop and you look at your accolades, it has this undesiring effect to make you stand still. Still moving forward. But started with Christian music in 2000. Was doing it by myself and got signed to indie label and ended up doing whole bunch of shows with the cross movement, whole bunch of shows with, a lot of the Grape Tree artists at the time, and then ended up becoming a group with the Warriors, two friends of mine, Irvin Jackson and Corey Anderson. And, during that time, we won, Texas Holy Hip Hop Awards. We won Gospel Guild Awards for longevity. We were on BET, we were on MTV, we were on the Gospel Music Network.
Wow.
Definitely had done a lot of things. Got on the local radio stations here, our local top 20 radio stations here. We ended up getting played on those a lot. Definitely, it was a moment in time that I was really happy about, and I thought I was done once the group was done. But God kind of kept me moving forward in music, as well as for the last about 8 years, I had been doing the Kingdom Experience at the South by Southwest, putting those events together. Which we had Kirk Franklin, we had the Social Club, the Walls Group.
Yeah. My favorite, T-Bone.
No Malice, T-Bone, Juice TV, Impact Network, all kinds of people have came through here. Brian Trey 05. A lot of people have came through during the South by Southwest. And then on top of that, I've been a motivational speaker, spoke at my church and, taught the teens for a long time. And then, like I said, finishing the music here as an artist and, kind of being an elder statesman, an older voice, a more mature voice inside of an art that, is a subgenre of a subgenre. So definitely doing those kind of things, but none of that means anything to me. I think the biggest thing for me has been I've been saved all those times and hadn't all from 2000 to now and haven't looked back. Our relationship with Jesus has been the thing that's been paramount, and without that, none of these things would have been accomplished.
Oh man, you said it right there. When we find Christ, we find purpose. But not only purpose, but we get anointed and the empowerment to fulfill that purpose. And it's the amazing thing is that a lot of things that we never thought we would accomplish or could accomplish because we know him and because he had a plan for us. We see ourselves going into places and connecting with folks, connecting with opportunities that we never would have imagined coming our way. Amen.
Yeah.
So, man, yeah, you like I say, you've done a lot, man. You all of that. Some of that I didn't even know. With all the awards, with all the accolades. As which I guess what means the most to you? You talked about salvation, and salvation does have its place. But as far as with some of the things that God has taken you through, or some of the things that God has even brought into your life, what are the things that means the most to you?
Being a father, to my own children, and raising them up, in the Lord, and then being a father to extended children who now are like 25, 26, watching them grow up in the things of God, seeing some of them actually follow in my footsteps musically, and then being a father inside of the genre, and being a father to, other artists, other Christian artists who have came up behind me, and being able to kind of help them through the pitfalls of life, and let them know that, music is something, it's a call, it's not a choice, but at the same time, ministry starts at home first. And
yes, sir.
We have to take care of the things that we have to take care of as individuals, so that we're able to be effective as a minister. Then to teach the fact that ministry is vertical first before it's horizontal. If I don't have a solid foundation, and if I'm not connected to the light source or the power source, I'm not going to have enough to be able to give to anybody else. So definitely, if you're asking me what's the most important thing to me, it's fatherhood. Being a father to my children, and then those that God has placed in my life to be a father to.
Man, that's exactly what I was hoping you was gonna say. And the reason why is because I wanted to segue into fatherhood and how fatherhood is important, especially now with this generation, especially within the African American culture. Um, with some of the things that we're going through, with some of the things that we're dealing with, I believe that fathers are right now some of the most important people in the community and for these households. So as far as fatherhood, how would you instruct a young father who hasn't yet really gone through some of the issues and some of the burdens that come with dealing and raising strong children? And so, how would you? What kind of insights? What kind of encouragement would you give them?
One, you have to provide what you were denied. So
Mm,
if you had never had a father and you had
hmm
never had somebody who, you looked up to, don't run out on your children. Be
mm,
Provide what you've been denied and make sure that you're there for them.
that's
The
good.
second thing, or probably the first, the most important thing is have a father-son relationship with God. The one thing and I'll say this, the one thing that I learned is that no matter how old you get, you have to follow the whole protocol that's been laid out. Jesus
Hmm
was a son.
Yep.
He
Yep.
was the son, God the Father, and he walked that way. And as
hmm
sons and daughters of the Most High, we have to have that father son or father daughter relationship with God in order to be able to plug in to know how to have that father son relationship with our children and the people that
hmm
we've been called to lead as fathers.
Yeah.
That that's a challenging thing, right? It's duplistic in the sense that you have to sit back and allow yourself to have trust in your own father and then to be just in dealing with your children like your father deals with you. One of the things that it was crazy and it came to me earlier on was I gave my children the ability to ask for grace. When they were in
hmm
trouble, I gave them the ability to ask for grace. And if God said the same, they got grace. This
hmm
shows that they never got in trouble for things they did because of the simple fact that they asked for grace. Where did that come from?
Wow.
My own
Wow.
relationship with God. Because when I did something that I knew I should get it for, I would
hmm
ask for grace and God will give me grace and mercy. So I can't be unjust to the Father. I have to give the same thing that I would get from God to my children. So you
hmm
have to plug in to that father-son relationship with God to know how to deal in a father-son relationship with your children or a father-daughter relationship with your children. Then the other thing is get around some older people who will instruct you in the things of the Lord. It's biblical to have a brother in the faith that you can go to, a
hmm
father, a brother, and then you have to have somebody that you can pour into. So you have to get around somebody who is older statesman in the gospel, who can give you some sound counsel. You like where they're going, you like how their kids have been raised, and gain some wisdom from them. You know, don't mean you have to do everything that they did. That you don't
hmm
have to be a clone of them. What you need to do is just take some of that wisdom from them, apply it in your life, and watch it work.
Wow. Wow. Man, that's powerful, man. I mean, that, brother, you need to put that in a little booklet right there. Just that three step process. It seemed like you had there. That was awesome. First, well, you talked about making sure your life is in line with the Lord, and you letting the Lord be your father. I love how you said you allow your kids to ask for grace. Man, that's huge. That is so huge. That really does teach people how to have an interactive, intimate, trusting relationship with God. And I could really see your wisdom in that, and because that's what you were going for, is making sure that they understood that God is our Father. Even though right now I'm fathering you, he is our father. And so, yeah, man, I can see that, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I applaud you on that.
It turns it, so I mean that's a God thing, so I can't really take no credit for it. But I mean,
Mhm.
but it really turns. It's just like what you said. It really turns the narrative and shapes the narrative to where you see God as the father. And a lot of times in a fatherless generation or a fatherless community,
Mhm.
that's why it's hard for you to have a relationship with God because you see God like the person that failed you.
Mhm.
So if you didn't have a great relationship with your father, now you see God that same way and you see God failing you or you won't trust him. You
Mhm.
won't trust him to hand things over to him because how can I? I can't trust the person that I call father. He obviously wasn't there with me. So at that
Mhm.
point, I can't trust you as a father, God, because I can't trust that man. And that is a lot of the because I was asked by one of my Anglo American brothers, why is the African American father not as prevalent as he should be? And that was one of the things. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, we never learned how to have a father son relationship with our father because he was never there.
Yeah.
So, you know, now I'm perpetuating the cycle that I already, you know, received from a kid. So I
Mhm.
might be in the house, but I'm not there. I
Right.
might be, you know, I'm not gonna be a father because I'm too busy trying to make it happen. But
Mhm.
your responsibility with children are to shoot them into the future. So if I don't prepare you, and you know, I'm a movie buff, so I mean, call me a sinner. I'm sorry. Uh,
No.
uh, Black Panther. I was watching Black Panther the other day, and another
Mhm.
quote stood out, and he was like, you know, he was seeing his father after his father had passed. He saw him, and he was like, I'm not ready to be a king. He said, well, then I failed as a father.
Mm.
I'm supposed to be able to have you ready to be a king. That's
Yeah.
my job, is to prepare you to be ready to be somebody's husband, to be somebody's father, to be somebody's leader. And if I haven't taken that responsibility from the day that you're born to shape that narrative, then I failed.
Oh my goodness, man, this is powerful, man. Oh man, wow, wow, wow. Um, yeah, stand on in that narrative, staying in that vein, man, because that is so powerful. Growing up in a single parent household, I fully understand that last part. One of the things, and I shared this on another show, dealing with the aspect of trying to discover what a man is when you don't have a man for an example. It's a hard thing to do. It brings about confusion, brings about fear, intimidation in times where you shouldn't be intimidated, and it causes you to, in some ways, have that lack of confidence to be all that you can be, or to overcompensate in other areas, to try and make up, and to to build your bravado. So the assurance, the acceptance, and also the endorsement of a man, of a father. It does. It makes a difference in the lives of children, male and female. Makes a difference in the lives of the children. So I completely applaud that statement that you made there. That was awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Yeah.
it's just it's part of, you're right, man. It's hard to be a man, and it's hard to accept uh, manhood if you don't have an example of what manhood is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And Christ likeness and manhood are synonymous. So if you walk in the character of Christ, you're definitely going to be a man, and that's something that I think people get kind of twisted. People feel like that if I can't do it perfectly, then I'm not doing it. That's not true.
Mm,
You're
yeah.
gonna make so many mistakes along the way, especially as a young parent, a young person starting off. You're not gonna, you know, it's gonna be, you know, a little bit problematic in the very beginning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it really is. But if you understand, you stick with it, and you be consistent, you can definitely continue to change. And one of the best things to hear as a father. Honestly, one of the best things to hear as a father is your sons tell you, "Pop, I don't know how you did it, and I'm proud of you as a man. I'm proud of you as a dad."
Mm-hmm.
And that just blows your mind because you're like, man, I didn't do it all right. If I could go back and do this, I would do this. If I go back and do that, I would do that because I really wanted to make sure that you got the best thing or the best opportunities in life. And for them to be like, man, I did.
Mm-hmm.
It blows your mind, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of a song that's out now, and unfortunately I don't know who the artist is, but he said, "Being broke made me rich," and and that's what he's talking about is how the hardship, the struggle that they went through as children actually made them better men, better people, and we really don't understand, that folks, kids seeing us go through the struggle and handle it,
Man, man,
how much further ahead they are
right,
to stand on our shoulders and to move, take it to the next level.
right.
Yeah.
That's what weaker but wiser mean. I mean, when you start thinking this generation has so much knowledge, has
Mm-hmm.
so much access to information, but they cut different. They
Mm.
the type of toughness that we have and mental fortitude they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And then you compound that with social media. Think about this: when you were a kid, you didn't. If you made a mistake,
Mm-hmm.
it may have made ripples around the school one time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you the next year you had an opportunity to reinvent yourself, or the next month you had an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to reinvent yourself. Not so in this generation.
Yeah.
Social media keeps it going
Yeah.
every day,
Mm.
every day for months at a time, maybe even a whole year, maybe even 2 years. So if a kid makes a mistake, it's magnified times 10.
Wow.
So you have
Wow.
to understand that for this generation who don't have the mental fortitude that we had, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they also have more troubles and more opportunities to get
Yeah.
caught out here than we ever had.
That's
You know what
right. You
I'm
telling
saying?
the truth.
So
Mm-hmm.
we as elder statesmen need to be, and I'm not old. I mean, I'm just saying as somebody who
Yeah.
is older, I
Mm-hmm.
understand it. I get it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like it makes me more grace filled when I'm talking to the younger generation and when I'm talking to, 21-year-old kids, 17, 21-year-old kids. I'm able to really just get in they wheelhouse and talk to them and let them know that, man, look, I understand your struggle. This is not easy. You know,
Right.
and I don't know if we could have handled it with so much. Matter of fact, I know I wouldn't. There'd be pictures of me everywhere, and not even appropriate ones. It would be very inappropriate.
Man, I hear you.
But the fact of the matter is that God knew I'm not gonna put that fool in this era because that fool would mess up and do a whole bunch of stuff. It is what it is.
I hear you, man. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and put on one of your songs. I know that. Let me see which song we have here. Give me one sec here. It is "Broken Heart," featuring D Black and Sean C Johnson.
Mhm.
So tell us about this song, man. We're about to hear.
So yeah, it's off of the last project, We Are Victorious. I've been making um, these themed albums for the last 3 albums actually,
Hmm.
and it's basically predicated on God is near to the brokenhearted and married to the backslider. So the only one that's qualified to mend a broken heart is God.
Yeah, yeah. All right, all right. Well, here we go, y'all, with "Broken Heart." Give me one second, pull that up. All right, here we go. This internet. Alrighty, well, it's coming up. Hopefully it'll. There we go. Oh wow. All right, man. That's all right there, man. Yeah, buddy. So with that video, who filmed that video, by the way?
His Elect Media, Jesse at His Elect Media, they filmed and edited the video.
Okay, okay. Well, I want to ask you, man, because I love to see brothers really connected to the Lord, really connected to the. I want to say the street, the vibe of the street. Because there's a different flow that uh, that we have. It's in they came up with the term reality rap a little while ago. But when I look at that, I see the reality. I see everyday life really being dealt with, but on the terms of understanding that we got help. So with brothers like that, man, when y'all connect, talk to me about how when y'all get together or the conversation and how you guys when you fellowship, what's the intent on presenting, and what are you trying to show the world as basically as who you are? How do you present yourself?
Well, I always say that, the brand of music that I make is struggle music. You
Struggle
know,
music.
and
Okay.
the reason why I branded that is because it helps you to be able to get through life. Because when you sit down and you think about it, I'm no different from anybody.
Mhm.
We're all born into a life of sin. We're born into sin, shaping in iniquity. The difference is that I chose to surrender my life and lose it to follow the purpose and the plan that God had for me in life. Uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
so when you come from a place of love and you come from a place of, hey man, I know what it's like. I've been there, done that, got a T-shirt and some trophies, and they can actually see your scars. Um, People are more quick and they're more apt to listen to you, and this is nothing new, right?
Mm.
Because when you think about it, I think about Moses in the Bible, and Moses had the people in the desert, and he
Mhm.
begged his father-in-law Jethro not to leave. He was like, "Stay with me, because you know the hard way." There has
Yeah.
to be somebody who's actually went through that path. Even though Moses was the deliverer and all that good stuff, he had a staff that turned into a snake or whatever, and he even split a Red Sea with it. He needed a person. He needed Jethro, somebody who had been there before, to walk him through that desert land, because he couldn't make it on his own. So there's a
Right.
lot of things that people just in general need. And if you're there and you show people that you care, then they'll care what you talk about. But when
Amen.
you tell them that you care, I don't care what you're talking about.
That's right. I agree. I agree. I mean, and you nailed it, because that's really it. That's what draws people in, is the fact that they see your heart, uh, and we kind of wearing it on our sleeve, wearing it in our face, and but they need to see that their lives do matter. Their lives do make a difference to you. Like you said, to genuinely care about people allows us the ability to cross lines that most people can't even cross, to go into doors and parts of town where most people are afraid to venture. But because folks know your heart, they, like you said, they're willing to listen, they're willing to see that. Um,
And
how has, go ahead. Hmm.
what's funny is sometimes you don't even have to say nothing. I've been
Yeah.
in places where people approach me who don't look like me. This was crazy, like tatted from head to toe, you know,
Hmm.
and I mean, look like they just fresh out the joint. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And they approach
Hmm.
me, and I'm like, well, I'm clean. I was clean shaven and clean cut. But, in this pandemic, ain't nobody touching me right now.
Right.
But yeah, definitely, they'll just come up to me and start talking and bearing their soul, and it's something
Wow.
that you can't fake. You can't fake having a real connection with the struggle. You can't fake.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? People
Yeah.
who are in the struggle smell it on you, and no
That's
matter
right,
how
man.
bad, and no matter how far, and that's the thing that trips me out, is how God has cleaned me up so well that other people who are in the faith don't believe that I done been back there. But the people know and they're fresh out and who are going through, they see it and they're like, hey man, how did you get from here to where you are? Because I need that.
Right, right, right. Wow, wow, man, and that brings me to the next song. Next song is called "Victorious," and featuring Brian Trejo. Tell us about that song. That really kind of goes with the theme, what we just talking about.
So man, with the song with Brian is called it's called "We Fight, We Pray, We Struggle, We Win." That's the premise of it. And
Okay.
you have to understand with
Victory. Mm-hmm.
victory. But
Mm-hmm.
we have to understand we fight from a place of victory because we've already won. All we have to do is get in that position and the posture of victory, and God can continue to work the things out behind the scenes that we can't work out for ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I'll just remind people, man, it's not no coupon, man. I mean, salvation is not a coupon. Just because your mama was good enough, just because grandmama was good enough, they can't speak up for you to get into heaven. That's not gonna
That
happen.
cat said coupon.
Two for one.
I love it. I
They
love it.
for one. It's not gonna happen.
That's it. That's it. Can't clip that one.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and go into victory.
You're on mute.
Can't do that. Yeah, it was like I said, it was a hot song, man. I really like it. I heard you. You coined it in there. Is the struggle. It's about the struggle.
Yeah.
You know, and then also, I mean, it was literally like, you know, we introed that song perfect because in the song you talked about, you know, your mama go to church, but that ain't good. That ain't gonna help you.
Right. Yeah. You can't live off her residual. You know, it's not gonna happen.
Man, that's all right there, man. That's all right there. So, when it come to music, man, who are your influences?
So I've been impacted and influenced by, you know, a lot of different people, man. And my mother made me super eclectic with the music that she listened to when I was coming up. I mean, you know, she listened to Stevie Nicks. She would listen to, you know, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, but the Bee Gees, Christopher Cross. And so I would listen to a lot of that. So that was where, you know, a lot of my music palette was shaped. And then when I
Okay.
got saved and I left a lot of stuff alone, I began to start listening to people like Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those became the people I looked up to. The Truth. I really looked up to those guys and really started trying to aspire to relate truth like they relate truth. But still, I mean, if you were asking me my favorite artists, that list: Stevie Wonder, Fred Hammond, Kirk Franklin, The Truth.
Gotcha.
You know, those would be my artists that are go to. I can't miss with. You know that,
Gotcha.
and then of course, you know, I listen to my brothers. You know, Five, uh, Brian Trejo, you know, Raw. I listen to a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people around me that influence, and I mean, I still got the South in me. So of course, you know, Scarface, you know,
Oh yeah.
UGK. There's a lot of that Southern
Mm-hmm.
influence that's gonna always be there. So my musical palette is different, and sometimes it seems like it's all over the place. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, I like that though. It keeps me, you know, from being pigeonholed and, you know, like in one type of music.
Exactly, and I completely agree with you on that, because it brings up the quality of the sound and really even the lyrical base. It opens that up as well, and the cool thing about it is that with your audience uh, doesn't get tired. Audience is always right there. They always excited about what's coming next,
Right.
uh, and I definitely am excited about that aspect of it because again, a lot of artists usually listen to artists that's just in a genre and they just keep almost replaying the same thing. But again, with you, that eclectic nature that you have causes you to again be able to reach into the different genres and to pull some things and then incorporate them into your sound, which
Yeah,
is awesome.
I think that's important. And my sons have kind of helped me in that creative process as well because they're critiquing everything that I have. That's another thing. I learned this from Diddy. This is something that I adapted from Sean Combs, Diddy,
Okay.
or
Mm-hmm.
Puff, whatever you want to call him. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he said something so interesting one time when during the South by Southwest. He said that if you're gonna stay relevant in music and the arts and branding, whatever, you need to
Mm-hmm.
have somebody who is on the edge of the culture, which could be
Yes.
yourself. Then you had to have somebody who's in the middle of the culture, and then somebody
Mm-hmm.
beginning to experience the culture. And you have to have those three
Mm-hmm.
people around to be your voice so that when you start creating, you don't sound outdated. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things that I
Wow.
bless God for is that my children, my sons have been those sounding boards. They get a chance to hear all of the music that I'm creating first, and they can tell, nah, Pop, that ain't it, or no, you sound like you from the '80s. You know, nah,
and they'll do it too, man.
oh, man, they don't have no problem because they know my feelings have a rebound rate of like, it's real quick. It's like instantaneous. You hurt my feelings, but okay, I'm back. It doesn't matter. I'll go change it. No pride involved. But this next project that I'm working on is called End Zone. This is my last full album that I'm actually going to record. I'll probably do, one-offs, like, a couple of singles with people. But as far as another full album, not going to do. This is it for me. And,
Gotcha.
I've been in my bag on this one. So, I mean, a lot of the music that I'm creating, I think is the best music that I've ever created in my whole entire life. And I'm excited about that. But I bring it up to share that it's eclectic. It's like all over the map. You're gonna get,
oh wow,
you're gonna get trap, you're gonna get hip hop, you're gonna get R&B, you're gonna get neo soul. There's so many different genres of music, and they all are coming at you one after the other, after the other, after the other. So it's not no dead here at all. And I'll invite you. I'll make sure that I invite you because we're gonna have a listening party for it when it's done, and I'll invite you because that's gonna be a black tie affair. Because
all right,
I put together a lot of work throughout these years. We talked about it, and for me to be kind of stepping back from creating, albums like that, definitely I want to put my best foot forward.
got you. Well, definitely, man. I do look forward to that because I really feel like with your heart, man, and that's the one thing I see in everything that you do. Even in dealing with you cats when we were at South by Southwest, man, the strategy, the heart that you guys put into it, because it wasn't just a show. I mean, man, it was really about reaching and really about reaching the people. You had the right DJs, you had the right artists. I mean, even the right venue to really reach people and impact people, and your heart. It just really made a difference. So I really am glad. I'm really thankful for the work that you're putting in, man. I really am. Really am. So just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. To God be the glory.
Yeah. Yeah. All righty. Let's go ahead. We're going to jump into this next video here real quick. This one is Have It All. I want to say this one to the end of the show, make people wait on it. you got some, yeah, you got some hitters in there, man. I see some of my partners in the background too. So I will. We're gonna go ahead and we won't deprive them for too long on that. So we'll go ahead and get it popping. All right, here we go.
You're muted again.
Man, I'm trying to do right. But yeah, you feel like you can't escape, we got you. I love it. I love it. Just like you just had me just now. I appreciate you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but yeah, man. And so speaking of brotherhood, man, speaking of that, when it comes to brothers who are not necessarily, ready to change. How do you encourage them? How do you respond to them in their life? And how do you what kind of and I guess I'm talking about being intentional, and connecting with brothers. What kind of things do you do to really be intentional with sharing your life, your love, your passion, your truth with folks who don't know the same God that you know right now?
Well, you got to be patient. I mean, you had to be patient with me. I mean, there was a point in time in my life that, I didn't want to hear it because I still had things that I wanted to do and accomplish. And, God had to come get me where he got me,
Mm-hmm.
so you just keep loving, being patient, and then live your life out in front of them. Live a life that, there was, I was having a conversation recently, and somebody told me they were talking about the fact that I'd been saying the same thing to them for 15 years, and they were like, the crazy thing is you've never changed how you talk to me or what you said to me in 15 years.
Wow.
So it's like, when you can have that type of consistency, only nobody but God can do that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't even notice that I was saying the same thing. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
That's right.
So you're only speaking what's in here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my intention is always to share love. My intention is always to be a brother. My intention is never to be, any other way other than who I am to you. And that's across the board. I don't care if I work with you or we're just friends or we're passerbys. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be known as the same person.
Man, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. So right now, where we are in dealing with our society, dealing with the and I'm gonna have to say it's like a social epidemic, a social pandemic, because what it did, it first off caused division. On board and really had this separation for such a long time. Then next thing is protest. It's as if one set us up for the other one. you know, the anxiety, the frustration of being locked up, cooped up in the house, and then all of a sudden, here's, I think all of that played together. What are your thoughts on that?
So I believe that it did. I believe that we are um, in a place where, everybody came into the year talking about 2020 vision. You don't see that our vision's been made very clear
Hmm.
on things that are important, which
Hmm.
is family. Family has been things that we lost. If you think about it, in the very beginning of the pandemic, you had to be at home with your family. You got a chance to know them again.
Yeah, yeah.
So the second piece is you got a chance to know you again. You got an opportunity to be with you, and then an opportunity to know the Lord again. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Because you've been so busy in your whole life, that 2020 vision, now you got a chance to see what's important.
Yeah.
Then the second piece of that 2020 vision is you got an opportunity to see what's been in your blind spot this whole time. You didn't see that your brother wasn't being loved. You didn't see that your brother wasn't being cared for. And you didn't see that your brother was being killed disproportionately by the people who were supposed to be protecting them.
Right.
So of course you didn't see it because it was for the vision is yet for an appointed time. But in
Hmm.
the end, it'll speak and not lie. It's speaking now. You know, this whole situation has nothing to do with George Floyd. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
That
Exactly.
it has.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a part of the whole. And
Yeah.
yes, he was the spark that lit
Mm-hmm.
the fuse. But guess what? This has been going on since the riots in Tulsa. This has been going on since Rosewood in Florida.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
has been going on since we've been brought over in slave ships.
That's right.
So I hear stories about the port in Africa where they launched the slave ships from. There was a church on top of a jail and a
Mm.
place where the slaves were sleeping in their own hungover. The women slaves were being sprayed off so that the slave owners could have sex with them. Um,
Mm.
and right on
Mm.
top of that place, you had a church, a Christian church.
God Almighty.
So you see how this issue has been interwoven into Christianity. So westernized Christianity are blind. We're blind for a long time, which is why
Mm-hmm.
the church was segregated from on Sunday. If you think about it, the most segregated place you can go into is church. You
That's
got
right.
every denomination or every color being in represented in different places. That's
Yeah.
not the kingdom. The kingdom is everybody all together in one place. That's the
Mm-hmm.
kingdom. And then,
Yeah.
people were like, the churches were shut down. No, the church was not. Sorry about that. I'm miking myself. I'm in myself. Uh, so no, the church wasn't shut down. We
Mm-hmm.
are the church. We are the ecclesia. So there's no way the church could ever be shut down. And then you got division being preached from the head of our government.
Mm.
Divide us. If they couldn't divide us on the pandemic, we were in
Right.
it together. We were all in it together. That's why we were coming back, 2020 vision, coming
Yeah.
back to what was important, loving thy neighbor as I love myself. You had
Mm-hmm.
people who were going out there getting groceries for other people. You had people who were out here caring for the needs of other people. Then you had all of these three quick deaths: Ahmad
Yeah.
Arbery, Baby Girl, and
Mm-hmm.
George Floyd. All of
Yeah.
them three quick unjust deaths. So it was
Mm-hmm.
back to back to back hit us, and so yeah, it just swept the nation up, and the nation was burning. And then you have this division being preached from the highest level of government,
Right.
and now people are saying no, no. You even see in the NFL saying no, no. We see clearly now.
Mm-hmm.
We were wrong, and some of it may be tongue in cheek, but we have an obligation as believers,
Yeah.
not to. Now I'm not talking about race. Believers
Right. Right. Right.
to say, oh, wait. If it happened to my brother, it's happening to me,
Yeah.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I am my brother's keeper.
That's it.
And the Bible clearly says, God said, how can you say you love me when you don't love that brother that you do see? It's
Mm-hmm.
impossible. It's
Yeah.
impossible for you to say you love me when you don't love the brother in front of you that you do see. And there are
Mm-hmm.
many voices, none without distinction. Everybody has an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But God know his voice, and another's they will not follow. So we have to stay pressed into the we have to stay plugged into the source, which
Yeah.
is Jesus, which is God, and that will give us the vision that we need to finish off the year, because we're not done. We're
That's
not,
right.
and it's going to continue to look bleak for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. We do have a lot of work ahead of us, and one of the most important parts is for us uh, to take the ground that we're gaining and to really truly develop a movement, to really truly develop an organization that's going to continue to push. We have to, without a doubt, we got to vote. African Americans have got to step up our vote, and we have to vote rightly. I'm not. I'm personally, I'm an independent, and that's what I tell my wife. I say, baby, I'm an independent thinker. That's why I'm an independent, because I need to vote for the people that's going to do right. And but we need to um, take this groundswell and truly organize, truly create some things, truly get some of these organizations that say they're for us, who, when President Obama was president, they were for other people, for other causes, but they're supposed to be for us, and truly step into it. So
I
one
mean,
of the things, go ahead, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
kind of articulate on that a little bit. When you see United States, the breakdown of the acronym for that is US. US.
Mm.
Us isn't represented if you don't have everybody represented in the
That's
U
right.
and the S.
That's
You
exactly right.
understand? Everybody has to be represented in the U and S. And let's not be political about things. Let's think about things from the thing that this nation was supposedly founded on.
Yeah.
And that was our Christian values.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think of it from a kingdom perspective.
That's
Not
right.
everybody is confessing Jesus as Lord and Savior, but we as the church have power.
Yes.
I know that is he said, "Behold, I've given you power to tread upon snakes, scorpions, and all principalities of the enemy." He also said that
Mm-hmm.
in Psalms, in the book of Psalms, it says how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity to share
Unity.
God's
Yes,
command.
sir.
He also spoke when, and this is and I have to kind of lay this out.
Mm-hmm.
Nimrod, who actually built the Tower of Babel, he was the one that built the Tower of Babel. He built that tower out of fear because of
Mm-hmm.
what had happened to his ancestor Noah,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"We're never gonna get flooded again." But they made an evil purpose and was like, "Yo, we just gonna send to heaven."
Yeah.
Right? And God came down and said, "No, no, let me stop this because if I don't stop this, they can do it. Because if they're together, they can accomplish some things. This
That's
is
right.
too much right now. We're
Mm-hmm.
too much, and there is no leadership because it was designed to be a move of people.
Mm-hmm.
God wanted it to be a move of people, so you can't smite a shepherd
Mm-hmm.
and so that the flock will flee. Now
Right.
you have a group of people, a move sweeping the U.S.
Yeah.
And what's going to have to happen is just like you said, the groundswell. What's going to have to happen is people are not going to have to, or no, people are going to have to stop wanting credit for what they're doing.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't care
Yes.
if you were doing something and somebody else gets the credit for it. Doesn't matter as long as we get the benefits of it.
That's
You know
it.
what I'm saying? And I
That's it.
understand that people want to say, "Well, I'm assuming leadership because God gave me the vision." I
Mm-hmm.
get that. I get that. He
Mm-hmm.
gave you a vision for part of it, not all of it.
Right.
So if you were all of it, then you would have been propelled to the very beginning. God didn't give you the vision for all of it.
Right.
Because he clearly told Elijah when Elijah was like, "I'm the only prophet of God left." He said, "Man, I got a specific number whose knee ain't bowed but there. So you ain't
Yes.
the only person out here doing it. Don't get it twisted, brother.
Right.
You
Right.
are, and you the power prophet in the whole nine. But
Mm-hmm.
I've reserved people for me. There's always a remnant that God got. So he's pulling everything together. Why? Because he's coming back for a church without spot, blemish, or wrinkle. We can't be the church without spot, blemish, or wrinkle if everybody's trying to take credit for everything.
That's right.
And these
Mm-hmm.
programs like you got and the independent programs that are happening across America are needed. It doesn't matter if there's 5 people watching or 75 people watching. It just needs to be done because collectively our voices can be heard.
Amen. Amen. 100%, man. I agree with you, and that's what I believe. With social media, I believe that we do have that opportunity, and I believe that the church was needs to be prepared for such a time as this, because this is the time, like you just said, where we there are shows, there are opportunities for us to really reach out to the earth and really get the message out, the message of Christ, the message of truth, the message that of kingdom, that we are a people who were made with purpose. We are people who were created with God's idea for us in mind, and and everybody has value in this thing, and so when we talk about that and talk about social media, what do you see as far as the church right now? What should be the next move? What should be some of the next steps that they should be taking toward capturing the hearts and minds of young people and of anyone right now? What should be their next step? Because I know as soon as things settle down, folk get tired of thinking about Corona. They gonna all come back together, gonna try to go back to the same stuff. How do we avoid that? How do we avoid them, and how do we prepare for the influx of folks that's gonna be looking for answers?
So one, I need to say it again because I don't think enough people are hearing the message. We're not ever going back to normal.
Good.
It's
Good.
never gonna happen.
Good.
Even though we're doing these rallies and we're going together and we're peacefully marching, you're gonna see a spike and an influx of this thing called Corona go back, because it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's a real thing. It's really affecting people. It's really happening. So
Right.
people are acting like, oh, I don't hear the media talking about Corona. Well, you won't, because it's a bigger issue of division that they can use, and they're trying to use to militarize the media to separate us. But
Come on.
the good thing is like I said, in moving forward in social media, you need to understand that you need to prep your content. You need
Yeah.
to make sure that you have content that's visual, that you can stream. You need to take and understand that your revenue stream is going to be different in
Yeah.
this hour. You can't be dependent on the way that things used to be. So if you have this large venue and it's not paid for, and you were doing that through, tithes and offerings, you're gonna have to know that you may have to kind of alter how you're doing that and work on the live stream, because realistically, you're not gonna have the older saints who are the backbones of
That's
churches.
right.
Only 10% of the church gives, and it's usually the older saints that have got the revelation of giving, right?
Hmm.
So those people are going to have to stay home. No ifs, ands,
Yeah.
or buts about it. And they probably won't be back to church the next year. Especially when it starts
Right.
cold again in the fall, you're going to see another jump. So, like I said, you need to start preparing your content. You need to start getting your cameras ready, and you need to be able to share in such a way that it takes us back to our old, um, when we first got saved. My pastor used to always talk about when he was preaching over an ironing board. He had an ironing board.
Oh, wait, say that he was preaching over ironing board.
Over an
That
iron
was his podium.
an ironing board at the podium, and he was preaching to three people, and all of those people was in his household. And then you went to a church that had over 3,000 people. That happened, but he preached with the same passion on that ironing board as he did when he had a house full of people. So you have to understand that we're going back to that. God is not concerned about you using the pulpit as a stage anymore. You know, um,
Mm.
forget the stage. This is
Hmm.
really a pulpit. We're pulling people from, hell into heaven, and we have to
Yeah.
be diligent about that work. I seen Bishop Jakes the other day, and I was watching one of the messages he preached. He preached that message like it was a packed house, and
Wow.
he was going in and just sharing the uncompromised gospel of Jesus Christ. That's when you know it's real. And that's what God is
Yeah.
looking at. He's looking at our hearts. to see were we about the crowds or were we about him? You know, were we about the crowds or we about the crowd? Are we about trying to impact that crowd? Or we about trying to draw that crowd? Did we, when one of the members fall off the roof and break their neck, are we gonna be the ones that
Come on.
kill them, or are we gonna be the ones that look at them and say, "I got nothing for you"? You know. So the church has an opportunity to be the church like it was in the Book of Acts. It's not.
Yes,
It's not
sir.
a coincidence that all this started to happen around Pentecost. It's not a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? God is really smart, and He puts things together in such a way that everything's type and shadow. Everything's type and shadow, and that's why Jesus was able to say, "He that has ears to hear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying." You know,
Yep.
so that, long story short, that would be my thing. You know, the school systems were archaic anyway. They needed an upgrade, and being able to teach via Zoom and all of that, that's a good thing as well. So I would start telling our children to learn how to code, to create something. Necessity is the mother of invention. Create
Yeah.
something that is going to meet a need. Find out what you're going to need moving towards this more automation and video era, and take advantage of it. You know, find out where the blockbusters and the the blockbuster music and the blockbuster videos are, and be
Mm-hmm.
the next red box. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean it this in this way because Blockbuster didn't realize that Redbox was taking over until Redbox had took over.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah.
Didn't realize that CDs were going out until MP3s had came in the way that they did and took over everything. You
That's
know,
right.
so you have to be looking for the future instead of trying to hold on to what was, because holding on to what was is not going to work anymore.
That's it. And that's it. Because yeah, because definitely when you talk about what was, and I mean, I do. I think about. I was talking to a fellow the other day, and he was talking about. He was looking for something to play his 8 tracks on. so, so yeah, it's the times are changing, and the only thing that don't change is change. So we have to move with the technology and all of this that God that is in place, and let God show us new, innovative, witty ways. Um, Give us witty idea, wisdom on how to use these things, and it's a learning curve for a lot of churches.
It is,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be remiss to sit up in here and say, "Oh, you can do it," because everybody doesn't have an IT department, or they don't have that guy in the church who knows something about setting up a streaming service, or putting their services on YouTube. That's another thing. I mean, I know I'm giving away brand secrets and stuff, but it's the truth. I don't care because God gave the information to me, so I'm gonna use it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to. And that's the other thing about the enemy. He understands
Mm-hmm.
that you can hear this information. He knows for a fact that you're gonna hear the information. But you know what else
Mm-hmm.
he knows? You ain't gonna pay no
Mm-hmm.
attention to those.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna go in
Wow.
one ear and out the other, and you ain't gonna
Wow.
realize that it was there the whole time until it's off and it's actually been gone. But
Mm-hmm.
diversifying your streams and making sure that you have your service available on YouTube is another stream of income for the church. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? Because money
Mm-hmm.
follows effective ministry. So if you're doing effective ministry and you have your church services on YouTube where people can go back and listen to them a lot, and then you code those right, because actually on YouTube it's all about the coding. You have to put
That's
in
right.
the correct code and the correct hashtag.
Yeah.
I mean, and definitely that can be another revenue stream for the church, as well as another way to actively and responsibly share the gospel in a way in which people are going to relate to. Because not everybody's on Facebook, not
That's right.
everybody's on Instagram,
That's right.
but mostly
Mm-hmm.
everybody look at YouTube content. You know, it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot out there. So I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of it. It's a lot out there. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. I mean, you're so on target with it because um, if again, if we don't do it, somebody else is going to. If we don't jump in that space, somebody else is going to have a bigger voice in that space. And I was talking to Dr. Claudette Morgan Scott last night, and what she was talking about the seven mountains that we need to take, dealing with media being one of those mountains. And the thing is that Christians need to be involved in everything.
Everything.
You know, all the way through the Bible, you had folks who were from the king. They were in the palace, all the way down to folks who were in Lodabar, and they went into Lodabar to reach God's people. You see, to rectify some stuff. You know, it was God's people and God's plan everywhere. And like you brought up earlier, dealing with Elijah, he was on the mountaintop for the moment, then he went down to the brook where he thought he was the only one. And but we have to be a part of everything. All the way through the Bible, God dealt with kings, which means that he was the one who, if he couldn't deal with the king, he dealt with their wives, dealing with Esther. He if he couldn't deal with the head, then he put somebody in their pathway, like Paul, and stepping into the kings and talking to them, and those types of things. We as believers have to take up that space, have to take up those mantles and move into those places. We have to be those people that aren't afraid, to step into there and to be who we are. You don't have to go Bible beating anybody, but you got to stand up and be God's people.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem, though.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I think God. So I was telling everybody at the very beginning of this whole pandemic thing. I said, "Hey, listen, this is grace. God has given us grace to be able to catch up and to see certain things about ourselves, right?"
Yeah.
And I believe that one of the things that we should have saw is who we are and who we've been uniquely made to be. And one of the problems inside of the church, and let's be a part of the solution, is people don't know who they are. And not only not knowing who they are, they're uncomfortable being who God has created them to be.
Wow.
And your expression of the faith needs to be sought. In other words,
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to be the truth anymore. I'm not going to try to be Lecrae anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to try to be Bizzle anymore. I'm going to run my lane. I'm going to say the things that God has told me to say. And I'm not going to worry about how people take it. As long as it's biblically correct, morally correct, and I'm good with it, I'm going to say it. But those things, biblical worldview has been shaped by a whole bunch of different things. And I have to stick to the word of God, build on the word of truth. But I have a responsibility to share how he gave it to me. And for so long, all of us has edited what God gave us to fit in certain circles. Now those circles are being destroyed and put away, and God is saying, speak, do, don't think about it, say it. You know what I mean? And part of that whole thing, I've came out, and even the night that I went on live, that was one of the things that God had said to me. Don't think about what you're saying, say it. I need you to say it. I want you to say it. It is what it is. So we have to be involved, and then we have to be confident enough to throw our hat in the ring and say, I can do it. Because all things are possible to them that believe.
Yes, sir.
All,
Yes,
not
sir.
some, all things are possible to them that believe. And when we start to line up with the way that the kingdom has saw certain things, I mean, because look, God is waiting for us to start binding stuff. He said, man, look, whatever you bind on earth shall also be bound in heaven. Well, we ain't binding nothing. So heaven, he's just like, well, I guess they're gonna bind from us. I don't know when they're gonna bind it. I'm waiting, you
Wow.
know. And
Wow.
whatever
Yeah.
you loose on earth shall also be loosed in heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you can't take a strong man's territory unless you bind up the strong man. So we
Man,
have
you
to start
preaching.
binding the strong man up and then
Mm-hmm.
start loosing God's voice in these areas. And the only way to
Mm-hmm.
do that is they that know their God will do great exploits. And
Yes,
that's why
sir.
in him I live, move, and have my being. So I have to be in him in order for me to do those things. And I got to think like him in order for those. See, that's what made, I'm sorry. That's
No, you good. You good. Yeah.
what made the Hebrew boys and Daniel so bad. That's what made
Yes,
them boys
sir.
so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The boys was
Mm-hmm.
bad. Why? Because the
Yeah.
Hebrew boys was bad because they were like, look, y'all can throw me in here and I probably could get burnt up. But guess what? He's still God. So you ain't solving nothing. So even if you burn me
Yeah.
up, he's still God. Okay. That was their faith. They were like, man, look, I got this. Daniel wasn't bothered. He was in there with some hungry lions. Them lions was hungry. I mean, hungry. He said they ribs was showing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how hungry they were. But Daniel was like, man, look, I got this type of faith inside of God and inside of me. You know,
Yeah.
people so hung up on their sin life that's why condemnation kicks in. And when condemnation kicks in, then they forget who they are. So the enemy is able to tell them, you know, hey, you can't get this done. You can't do. So now our confidence is gone.
Right. Right.
Remember in
Right.
the movies where the priest would run up on the vampire with the cross and it wouldn't work? And you're like, you gotta believe.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they were telling us way back then. All of it. You know what I'm saying? And you have to get to the place
Mm-hmm.
to believe. I mean, Elijah was so bad that he believed to the point to where he didn't even check with God. He was like, look, I got this little test. Whoever God
Yeah.
set this thing up, and whoever God answers with fire, he's gonna be God. He didn't ask God
That's a bad boy.
at all. Nowhere in the scripture do you see
Yeah.
he asked God or God told him to do that. He set that test up. Then he started clowning him. Hey man, he might be on break. Go on and cut yourself. Is that a help? He's clowning, just straight up clowning, but he believed to such a degree that he was able to speak.
Yeah.
And see, the one
Yeah.
thing about the earth that you don't know is the
Mm-hmm.
earth was formed, framed, and fitted by the word of God. So whatever you
Yes,
speak
sir.
into the earth ain't trying to turn around and find out who it is talking. If you speak like God and you say what God says, the earth has to respond. It ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it because the whole world was formed by a word. The
Yes, sir.
Spirit of God spoke, and it was. Let there be light. It was. He
Yeah.
created things. It was. Adam spoke to stuff and named it. It was. God didn't change the name.
Right.
God didn't
Right.
come back behind him and say that orangutan is on a mama mama. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say that. He said that's what it
Right.
was. You said it was orangutan, it's orangutan. You know,
Right.
and God understands it. He said on earth, look at the Lord's prayer. He's telling us
Mm.
that these things are going to be on earth as it is in heaven. You ruling on earth like I'm ruling in heaven. So when you say it, it is so. It's not naming and claiming. You just
Right.
speak from the heart of God. And when you speak from the heart of God,
Yeah.
he could say, that's why Jesus could say, speak to this mountain and say, be thou removed and go cast yourself into the ocean. And the
Mm.
mountain got to do it because of the simple fact that it's like, was that God? I, okay, I gotta go.
Wow.
You know,
Wow. 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 Man, I'm let you keep
I'm
going.
sorry.
Because you hitting it. You hitting it though. You hitting it, you know.
Believe it. Like I said, seeing, that's why seeing
Yeah.
there, seeing puts us in that mindset to where we were condemned and we feel
Yeah.
that and we're like, man, I can't. And everybody sins. Don't get to understand.
Yeah.
Everybody's guilty. And then
Yeah.
what happens is that we'll start living in that life for a minute,
That's right.
and we'll put those fig leaves back over us again.
Come on.
We'll
That's
try to
right, man.
cover ourselves with things that's already dead,
Hmm.
things that are never gonna cover our inadequacies.
Yeah.
And God is a great father. He's still sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
When you done, where you at?
Yeah.
Done, I got you. I
Yeah.
got this. I've already I've killed something.
Hmm.
I've already got it here to cover you, to keep you warm, to
Yeah.
insulate you. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's all right. There's consequences for sin.
Hmm.
There are consequences for sin.
Right. Right.
You ain't
Right.
out here just willy nilly living it up,
Hmm.
playing Saru. Everybody is it up. No, 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 no. That's not what we're doing. That's why
Right.
Paul was even able to say, "Shall I sin even the more because I understand my, his grace is made perfect in my weakness." No,
Right.
I should
Hmm.
try not to sin.
Yeah.
I should try not to do the things that I do. But we don't realize that it's there. So Mr. Perfect Christian with the Christian badge and you the Christian police run around telling
Hmm.
everybody how bad they are. Think about some of the things that you've done. Try
Right.
to sin. There's
Right.
no small or little, there ain't no meter, no thin chart. Which
Right.
one's the greatest and which one's smaller? So if you ain't, just because you ain't committed adultery with on your wife, don't mean you ain't looked at Beyonce with lust in your heart, and
Right.
you done did the same thing, but you ain't think about that.
That's right.
You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right.
So that's why the scripture always says, look, first and foremost, brethren, if you find your brother in the fault, restore such a one
Restore.
in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
spirit of meekness, yes, you fall privy to the same thing. Then it says, cast not away your confidence.
Mm.
It brings great recompense of reward. Then he said, there's therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ
Yeah.
Jesus.
Jesus.
There's
Yes, sir.
conviction, but it's not condemnation. Those are two different words. I need to
Mm.
be convicted of my sin.
Hmm.
I need to have some type of something that makes me aware of my.
Yeah.
That's why the Ten Commandments were written so that you would be aware of what God calls sin.
Mm.
The other thing is you don't need to be condemned about it because the
Yeah.
blood covers the sin you committed before you got saved,
Yes, sir.
yesterday,
Hmm.
today, and tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
mean, literally, you have things to accomplish, people. If you are under the sound of my voice and you are listening to this broadcast, understand God has things for you to accomplish. And you can't do those being in your own way. You can't do those things fighting your own self. You can't do those things feeling like that you are less than or less than a person, less than an individual, or because you done sinned and you done did all these terrible things, God ain't gonna listen to you. Come on, man. Get this. He gave his son. Look, Jesus told a story. You gotta pay attention to who tells the stories in the Bible. Jesus told a story first and foremost, and then I'll go to the next one of a man, and y'all are very familiar with this. Jesus told a story about a son that came to his father and said, "Give me what I owe. Give me what you owe me. Give me my portion. When you die, you was gonna give it to me anyway. I just want it right now." So he got it, and then he lived this whole unrighteous unrighteous living, and went out and spent everything his father gave him. Then he came to himself. He had a realization. Condemnation moved out of the way. Condemnation moved out of the way and
Hmm.
conviction came. And he said, you know what? The servants at my father's house eat better than this. I'm going home. And guess what?
Wow.
His father was right there waiting where he left him. Never stopped. Every day the father went to the place where he left him and knew that he had placed enough inside of his child to come home. So get this, God knows that he placed enough inside of you to come home.
Wow.
He did. And if you think that this whole, well, what about Amar Victoria Smith? Well, what about this whole situation? And people are going off. Well, think about the woman. Jesus told a story about a woman and a unrighteous judge. And the woman was a widow, and she kept going to Jesus. I mean, she kept going to the judge, kept going to the judge, kept going to the judge, kept going to the judge. And the judge was like, look, you going to wear me out. So whatever you want, I'm going to give it to you. Now you're going to get justice. You want justice, you're going to get it. God hears the cries of his people. When his people keep crying out for justice, God's going to hear it. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then I hear from heaven and I will heal their land. And when people start crying out to their Father, God hears them. The next story that was told in conjunction to that was a teacher of the law, Pharisee, somebody who was well learned, who was the cream of the crop, went up to pray with a tax collector, somebody who thought they were less than, somebody who didn't believe that they were the person that God had made them. And they went up there, and the Pharisee was like, thank you that you ain't, I'm better than this dude. And thank you that I don't make that, I'm not doing all of this stuff. And I don't even know why he up here praying, basically, because I'm the stuff and he not. But the tax collector beat his breast and was like, look, Lord, I'm less than. I'm not. And God heard his prayer.
Yeah.
So we're in a time where you can't be high and lifted up and think that, because it's not your problem, it ain't a problem. And the people who've been going for justice, God gonna hear them.
Yeah.
The people who've been less than, God is listening to them. And you who have been overprivileged, who have had everything, you who have been lifted up in pride and arrogance, your prayer at this point ain't being heard. Your voice is not as important as the one who has been begging for justice and as the one who doesn't think that they're anything. They've been less than, downtrodden.
Wow.
So we need to stop and understand that everybody has a part to play in this. We're in it together. We are a unit. And if you're listening, understand you're good enough. God has it for you.
It's good.
He's never left you. He's never abandoned you. You are the apple of his eye. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. He loves you. You are his child. And there's a purpose and a plan. You could have been born in the 70s. You could have been born in the 1300s, but God birthed you in this time for this purpose, for such a time as this. And I don't care if you are just sharpening pencils, you are part of this revolution. I don't care if you are writing songs, you are part of this revolution. And matter of fact, music ministers, you are the ones who are going ahead of this movement. So get ready. Be prepared. You are the ones that God is going to speak through to set the atmosphere for this change. So you need to mold it from a narrative of love, peace, and everything that is inside of unity. Love, peace, and unity. You need to be speaking from that platform. You don't need to speak from a platform of anger and hate. You don't need to speak from a platform of frustration. Because guess what? So it's okay, be angry, but sin not. And the sin comes in when I harbor it. And when I say, hey man, I want those cops to pay. And I hope that they get bubble for a roommate in the cell. That all that stuff is too much. Too much. That God they deserve salvation like you deserve salvation. Pray for them. Pray for their families. Pray. Yeah, what they did was wrong, and it was so wrong that it hurt, and it made us think of Trayvon. It made us think of Tamar. It made us think of all of the innocent lives that have been lost, and it made us think of Emmett Till. It made us think of Dr. King. It made us think. It brought back memories of the people that have been taken unrighteously off of this earth. But at the same time, We are charged to love people,
Yes, sir.
hate sin, love people. The people in the sin are different. You commit sin all the time that you didn't want to commit. Or think about this: you say things and it got taken wrong, but that wasn't your intent. But see, you'll judge somebody else by the actions they commit when you did the same action, but you're saying that your intention was different. That's hypocrisy.
Hmm.
So I need for us all to get on the same page and deal from love. And music ministers, share that gospel, share that word. If you're not saved, stop talking about popping booties. Stop talking about popping bottles. Stop talking about smoking dope. Let's deal with some substance now.
Yeah.
Let's get to some real now. Let's talk about where we go from here now. Let's talk about and have dialogue on how I can love my wife. Let's talk about and have dialogue on how I can come together with a girl and we start a family. Let's talk about love.
Yeah. 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 Man, 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 man. Being difference makers. Being difference makers, not only in our lives, in the community, in the industry. Uh, we used to do those events around the country called Firefest, and and literally that's what we did was to uh, we had a show, but we also had the workshops where we taught Christian um, music ministers how to navigate the music industry and to be better. But you teaching the messaging, the messaging is what matters most. And man, I applaud you on that, because what needs to happen right now with all of the turmoil that's going on, all the confusion, all the heartaches, all the everything that where people are just confused. I mean, and I'm being honest with you, it's not just young people, because even with that call to music ministers, there's some gospel music people that can be doing the same thing. There's some country gospel, country folks. They it doesn't matter what genre you're in right now. It's time to take up the weapon of the message of and the right message, and really do the struggle music like what you're talking about, man. I mean, I believe that's going to be a genre real quick here. It's the struggle music. I really do, because uh, everyone is dealing with the struggle, and in order for us to get the truth of the matter laid out, it has to be coming at us. And one of the thing I love about music is a fishnet. You'll catch some will get through the cracks, but it's a fishnet for really wrapping itself around folks. And so the right messaging is it's not just the pastor that has to give the message. It's not just the preachers, the street evangelists, not just the politicians, but musicians who are the ones who can enter into folks' homes, the ones that's on folks' phones and iPods. Well, I don't know if iPods are around anymore, but okay, iPads. Yeah. See, it's the music ministers. It's those cats that are reaching inside of the people's minds and their psyche and really touching their souls. So yeah, to have the right messaging, the right mindset, the right heart about this thing, because one thing I know all of us always taught about hip hop and Christian hip hop, especially, it ain't about the money. It ain't about that.
In the music industry, it's not about the money. Let's
Yeah.
get some education on that. Do you
Yeah.
understand that a thousand people put out a CD a week? No, excuse me, I'm sorry. Uh, I think it's 10,000 people put out a CD per week.
Oh
Out of those
wow.
10,000 people, 1,000 of those folks will sell over 200 copies. 1,000.
Oh man.
The
Oh
number
man.
drops when you get over 300 copies. That number drops to around 300 people. Then when you start to move a little further, that number
Hmm.
drops to like 50, maybe even 25. So it starts going down and shrinking. Nobody's
Yeah.
making money off of CD sales anymore.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
making money off of streams. They're making money off, and it takes 1,500 streams to make $10.
Mm-hmm.
So 1,500, you don't know. That's why I tell people all the time: if you're gonna sow into the life of a musician,
Mm-hmm.
buy the album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
just stream it. Don't go to Spotify. Yeah, stream it. Yes. Go to Apple Music. Go to Spotify. Go to everywhere you get it. Amazon. Stream it, but buy it first. What's
Yeah.
$10? You
Yeah.
gonna take off $10 going to Wendy's or to Whataburger.
That's right.
You gonna do that? Sow into the life of a musician. Sow into the life of somebody who's gonna change the culture. Be giving. And the people who are giving in this time are going to
Mm-hmm.
be people who are going to be up. Remember, every movement has people who are at the top of the movement,
Mm-hmm.
and it has people who are at the bottom of the movement. Usually, the people who are at the top of the last movement
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom of the current.
Mm.
So you don't want to be trying to fight to get into a movie where the credits are rolling on.
Wow.
You're part of a movie where it's just starting. And you
Mm-hmm.
want to be a part of that move. You want to be a part of that change. So forget money at this point.
Right.
Serve a need.
Yeah.
If you
Man.
serve a need, I guarantee you'll make money.
That's right.
But if you're
Man.
not serving a need, who wants to pay you for what? Why?
Wow. 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 Man, you said that. And I thought about, I actually thought about this a little earlier, how the Lord gave Peter the dream. And there was a blanket that came down with the types of animals that he wasn't supposed to eat. And he said, take, kill, and eat. And so it was him having to get out of his traditional box, traditional mindset that had caused him to I believe slow down.
Absolutely.
And God was trying to expand his territory, let him know that the gospel is not just for these folks, but it's for the world. And yeah, and when you just said that, I was thinking about that, because that is where we are. That's where folks have to be. We have to be,
Absolutely.
especially, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He had a problem with Pete. He had a problem with Paul.
Yeah.
And if God hadn't opened his mind up, he couldn't see Paul the way that God had created. See, that's the thing. When you're not seeing God right, you make other things, you put other things in the place that somebody else could occupy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they picked another apostle, but God had already picked an apostle.
That's it.
And God let him pick him. He was
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't heard nothing about the dude after he got picked. But meanwhile, Paul was
That's right.
half of the Bible.
Wow.
Paul was God's man. And you got to understand, there are certain things you said it, you just hit the nail right on the head, man. There are certain things and certain attitudes that we can't take into this existence that we're moving forward into.
That's it.
That's
That's
why
it.
God quarantined us. That's why he said, I'm gonna stop the world and I'm gonna put you in front of me, and you're gonna have to walk to the bathroom 3 to 4 times a day. You're gonna have to look in that mirror 3 to 4 times a day, and you're gonna have to start seeing what you're not seeing. I need you to recognize your blind spot. But
Mm-hmm.
you are going by the end of the year, you're going to see 100% clear. Your purpose, the plan that God has for you, the vision is going to be made plain. And now you're going to have your marching orders. By the end of the year, we'll have our marching orders and
That's the Lord.
what to do, how we're supposed to get it done, and we'll all be functioning in the purpose. You know
Amen.
what I'm saying? So this ain't the end. This is the very beginning, Jack. And you got to understand that when growing pains start happening, they happen for a minute, but then all of a sudden, there's this big old thing of growth. I've seen
Yeah.
people grow 4 or 5 inches over the summer.
Yeah.
Their knees hurt and they sleep all the time, and then all of a sudden, it is a whole other person. That's what's going to happen for us. That's what's going to happen for the church. That's what's going to happen. We're going to find ourselves doing things totally different, having virtual concerts, having virtual meetings, and having virtual interviews just like this. But they're going to be different because they're going to be influential in more ways than one. But we
Yeah.
have to start seeing. There's a dude that I know who their business was being hurt by the coronavirus, and
Mm-hmm.
they had some plexiglass laying on. So what they started doing was taking some PV pipe and some plexiglass and some caulk and putting it in there and creating shields. Well, to this day, he's doing $100,000 a week in
Oh
those
my
shields,
goodness.
right?
Wow.
So not only did it crawl out of the hole, create a whole new revenue stream of business.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you want to be successful in this next move, you better plug into the Spirit of God so that way He can tell you what your it is, what your thing is.
Yeah.
You, not everybody's a rapper, not everybody's a singer, not everybody's a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to be.
Yeah.
Find out what God has for you. Do that.
Yeah.
So many people want to be saw. You don't need to be seen. Some of these the most powerful movements moving forward, some of the most powerful, most influential people are going to be in the shadow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, can you handle that? Can your
Hmm.
pride handle that? Can you handle not being the one that gets credit for it?
All right. Wow. Wow. Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we'll have a few moments left on this program. Going off what you just brought out, we got to get in the trenches. We have to, but more than anything, we have to get in the face of God. Some practical steps for people who may have accepted Christ, but are looking to build a deeper intimacy with Him. What are some practical steps that they can begin to take tonight, right now?
Easy, man. Let's go to Joseph. Let's go to Joseph. Joseph was a dreamer. He found himself in the prison, locked up. And he was locked up to such a degree that he was in there. The hair grew out. He had talked to some people, and he had been functioning in his purpose and doing the things that he was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the people that he had impacted from way back when told somebody else in power about him. And needless to say, he came out of the situation. They cut all of his Hebrew hair off. They shaved his face, and he looked like an Egyptian. The
Mm-hmm.
Egyptians didn't. The Egyptians knew he wasn't an Egyptian. The Hebrews knew he didn't look like a Hebrew. So here he was in the middle, and it's the same thing. You are the same place where you are right now. You have to be you and be comfortable being in an uncomfortable space. Be comfortable being in an uncomfortable space. That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is know that Christianity is going to look different on you than it will on somebody else. So stop trying to speak in tongues and making it up. Don't go, 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 go. Don't make it up. Just be comfortable being you. Okay. God will pull the things out of you that He needs to pull out of you when it's time.
Mm-hmm.
So be comfortable in an uncomfortable space. Then allow yourself to be you. You know what I'm saying? Be the representation that God made you, as long as it's, now we got to keep some parameters. As long as it's biblically correct, morally correct, and it's good with you, that's fine. This is the third thing that goes with what I just said. Balance. It's the key to life. You can't be so heavenly minded that you have no earthly value. And you can't be so earthly minded you have no heavenly worth. So you have God says, I hate this honest scale. Those are one of the things that God said He hates, this honest scale. So everything has to be balanced. So you have to find the balance inside of your life of work, ministry, and of play. So you got to have some things that you're doing that you enjoy that gives you that balance. Why do I bring up play, man? Because God, get this, man. God came so you can have life and that more abundantly. There are things
Mm-hmm.
that He wants you to do and things that He wants you to experience. You mean to tell me that Jesus was here this whole time? He didn't laugh, but He cried.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says He touched with all of our infirmity, which
Yeah.
means that He was touched with the good stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to have balance. You need to have balance as a new believer. You need to be comfortable in an uncomfortable space because people are going to fall away. The people who you used to rock with ain't going to rock with you no more. That's the Hebrews. They going to be, man, this dude, Blake, he done
Right.
changed. And the dude that you in there with, they ain't going to accept you because you knew. You know what I'm saying? But you know what you're here to do. And you need to
Yeah.
be comfortable in an uncomfortable place to do what you're there to do.
Amen. It's all good, man. Man, you, brother, you need to write a book. I know you make music, but cat, you need to put some of that stuff in between a binder for real, because man, that is probably the most practical application of stepping into a Christian walk and really becoming and getting to the realization of who you are and really and who God is in you. Man, man, that was awesome. That was awesome, brother.
Well,
Um,
thank God, man. Like I said, we here for each other. We should be each other's teammate, and we're definitely here to save our cities. We're
yeah,
definitely here to save our regions, and we're
yeah,
definitely here to fulfill the Great Commission, and that's to
yeah,
seek and to save, to go after being fishers of men. And get this, the funny thing, you said something about that, and my pastor said this, and it made me laugh so hard. He was saying, when you go fishing and you ain't got the right bait, and you throw a net out there, you catching everything. You catch
mm,
stuff you don't want. I was like,
mm,
yeah, you catch tires and you catch license plates with that net and you drag it across the bottom. You just catching everything you can. Understand, if you gonna cast that net and you're gonna cast a wide net,
mm-hmm.
you can't be mad when you catch those things. You can't be upset.
Right.
I can't believe I got a tire and I can't believe I got a license plate in here. Come on, man.
That's
It's
right.
okay. Don't be offended. That's why I said be comfortable in an uncomfortable space. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
uncomfortable to
yeah.
be fishing for shrimp like on Forrest Gump and get army helmets and tires. You
Right.
have to where the shrimp at, you know? Literally, it's uncomfortable, but you have to be consistent and keep going.
Consistent.
And that's why
Consistent.
you have to be balanced, and then you have to be purposeful. You got to
Yeah,
walk in the thing and live it out the way that God told you to live it out. Because
yeah,
if you're not consistent in living it out the way God said to live it out, then you're gonna give up, and you give up way too early, and
mm-hmm.
it's over. When
That's
you
right.
give up way too early, it's always over.
That's it. That's it. And and just to add on to that, you gotta allow love to do its perfect work in you first.
Amen.
I do believe that we have to learn to love ourselves, love God first, love ourselves, love our neighbors as well, and then like what you're doing, man. What I see you doing is encouraging and lifting others higher than yourself. Uh, Doing exactly like the Bible said, man. I applaud you, brother. I applaud you,
Bless God. Bless God.
man. So, what I want to do right now, for those cats who are watching who may not know the Lord and may not have seen the God do some things in their life because they haven't yet built that relationship, hadn't yet built that connection to Him. God, we know God is calling out to them, and even the reason why they even watching this is because the Holy Spirit drew them. And you they just don't know. So I want you to minister to those cats as we close our show.
So today, if you're hearing God's voice, harden not your heart. Don't worry about what you've done, how you did it, what happened. You know, God is here for you. And He sent His Son to die on Calvary so that you could have life and have that more abundantly. And wherever you find yourself at today, God can change your tomorrow. It's just as easy as you saying, you know what, God, I surrender. I repent. I want to give you the keys to my life. I want to be your child. I walk away from that life that I once lived and I turn towards you. Jesus, I am saved. I am born again. I am your child. And if you can say that, if you can put yourself in that position, God will become the Lord of your life and allow him to do it. Allow him to remove those things. I have friends who didn't go to a 12-step program to get rid of being hooked on meth. They walked into a church and walked out healed. They walked into a church and walked out delivered. They walked in and walked out different way. I got friends who got saved and God was dealing with them for months about certain things, but then all of a sudden it changed. You know, just you have to be willing to open up your heart today and say that I can't do this by myself. And Lord, hold my hand while I run this race, and He'll be there for you.
Amen. 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 Victorious, victorious, victorious. Man, thank you for teaching us how to live a victorious life, man. We really, really do appreciate you, man. Really, um, some of the things, man, that you shared with us today, guys, I'm going to be chewing on it because uh, your heart is so in line with what I know and believe is what God's heart is for the times and what his motive is. And the thing is that you are um, passionate because uh, you're visionary. I mean, without a doubt, you have the vision. You can see uh, the past, present, and future all at once, and you can see the plan of God and how He's weaving Himself in and out of our society in order to bring people closer to Him. And so I want to thank you so much, brother, today for sharing your heart. Thank you so much for bringing clarity. You are one of the influencers of the times. Just want you to know that you are one of the influencers of this time and of this generation. So I want to thank you for being that guy, for being the man that
Yes.
God can depend on and God can trust to deliver what He needs you to deliver. And I know the other night, he broke those shackles off, and I thank you for walking in it today. Thank you so much, brother.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys. And what's up, Mr. Sauls? I see your comment. Thank you for rocking with us.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you, Vic. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. We really, really do appreciate it right here. Soul City TV, Victorious, y'all. Go get his album. When is the album dropping? Talk to me.
So I have albums that are out right now on iTunes. You know, definitely you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's under Ahmad Bell, but if you search, Victorious featuring D Black or Victorious featuring The Truth, all of that'll pop up. At Victorious52 on Instagram, Ahmad J Bell on Facebook. Definitely you can connect with me there, and all of the ways to connect with the music is there as well. This new record that definitely I'm getting ready to put out. I don't have a release date on it, but you're going to start seeing singles drop from this record within the next month. Definitely a couple of singles at the same time. God Heal, God Save America, Lord Hold My Hand, and Old Brother. You'll probably see those in about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, and you'll see video representations coming behind those as well. But those are timely records. And the funny thing about those records, man, is that, and then at Victorious52 on Instagram. But the funny thing about these records is that they have been recorded um, in the beginning of the year and the last of last year. So they were prophetic. None of
Mm,
the things were planned at all. None of these things were made in the moment. And when you hear these records, you're gonna be like, man, you sure you didn't make this? When I'm serious, like I'm so serious. I was sitting back listening to them the other day, and I was like, wow, like who would have thought that we would be here? And these are like, but I just said once again, God freed me up and took the shackles off, and He speak what I need you to say. Stop worrying about how everybody is going to perceive and catch. I got to leave you with this. We do this in relationships, y'all. Single people, y'all,
Mm-hmm.
y'all worry about how your friends are going to look at you when you have this girl on your arm. Is she pretty enough to where they'll be like, "Ooh, you did that"? You should be worried about the substance. You should be worried about the substance of the person that you're walking with.
That's
I'm not
right.
telling you to wake up next to Esther or Medusa, but I am telling you to find something that is good. You know what I mean? You want to be able to look at it and say, this is good. You know what
Right.
I mean? You want to be able to understand that when you speak and that thing is speaking, because remember, the vision's going to speak at the end. When that thing is speaking, it has some substance to be able to pour back into you because you're going to need it. I
Yeah.
don't need a pretty fool on my arm.
Come on.
You know, at this point, I got to be sharing from some substance. You don't need a nice looking dummy up here sharing a whole bunch of stupid stuff.
That's right. That's right. Exactly right.
We'll start.
Bless you, man. Bless you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. I know you being on here. I appreciate your time. I really do appreciate your heart. And I thank you so much again for all that you shared with us today. Again, this is definitely one for the book. So y'all check him out. Ahmad J Bell. He's on Facebook. Also hit him up on the Insta. Victorious at Victorious52 on Instagram. So y'all check him out. Y'all, he's doing some amazing things. Really has a heart for ministry. Has a heart for ministers. So definitely want you to encourage, send some love, let them know your thoughts on everything he shared today. And guys, we want to thank you again for tuning into Soul City TV right here on Facebook. All of this. So we'll be here, guys, every week. We coming at you with more shows. This next week coming up, we do have some local pastors that are going to talk about. Actually, one of the pastors is an international missionary. So he's going to talk about his views on what's going on today and how the church and how mission work is changing. And I mean, you can watch this show today. I'm telling you, folks need to take notes, man. Take notes. I'm completely serious.
I hope that you share this on YouTube, and because this is something that I'm telling you too,
Yeah.
that you want to have replayability. You want to be able to share this with everything that you share, all of the content that you share, and all of the ministers that you have on the show. Not only just on Facebook, but make sure you're uploading this to YouTube. Make sure that that content stays out there, not just to pad your pocket, but so
Right.
people will have a viable place to go to get truth. If,
Got it.
if it's
Yeah.
not there, then I've wasted the information. Because remember, the people who are not on Facebook can't see it.
That's right. That's right. I agree. I agree. Yeah. Good thing about this platform, we are streaming live to Facebook and live to YouTube at the same time right now.
Perfect.
So yeah, I'm hearing your words, brother. I'm hearing you. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you for teaching us, man. We applaud you, brother. We really do. So thank you so much. God bless you, man. God bless the fam. And hopefully we'll be able to connect in person soon.
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 Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, be blessed, man. And thank you guys again for tuning in to Soul City TV. This is Apostle T. That right there, that fella over there was Ahmad Bell of Victorious. And guys, we had an awesome show. So thank you again. Thank you for being right here. Share, guys. I need you to share. I want you to share. Want you to let everybody know that Soul City TV is on Facebook. You can like our page, Show City TV. You can also share this video with anyone in your network. And also, we are on YouTube. So look us up, Soul City TV or Soul City Online, right there at YouTube. So thank you again for being a part of this. Thank you so much for joining us today. And guess what? I look forward to you next time right here on Soul City TV. God bless you. Take care. See you next time.